Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and we are live. The call-in number is 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. And we're talking about the shutting down of the Black News Channel. I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday, March 25th. Roland deconstructed what happened. I was on his panel. I talked about it as well. I posted about the shutting down of the Black News Channel before I was on his show. I'm on his show Fridays, 6 p.m. And there was a big article from the LA Times that talked about the Black News Channel shutting down. Now, we know the principal investor, the majority investor was Shahid Khan, who's a Pakistani American. Shahid Khan is the owner of the Baltimore Ravens as well. So the Black News Channel was the brainchild of former Republican Congressman J.C. Watts. He's African American. He's been trying to do the Black News Channel for about a decade now. And when Shahid Khan came in and invested $50 million, he became the majority stakeholder. So it went from Black owned to Black targeted. Okay. Shahid Khan had the majority stake in the Black News Channel. There was a big article from LA Times, Shahid Khan's Black News Channel shutting down. Now, before that came out, and Taylor, we're going to clip number one just a second. So cue that up from Roland Martin Unfiltered. So before that article from LA Times came out, there was a email that went out to the staff of the Black News Channel. And this was about their March 25th payroll deposit. Roland Martin posted this on his Facebook page. I shared it on my Facebook page as well. This talked about the March 25th payroll deposit. It says BNC staff, the March 25th payroll deposit, which would have been Friday, will be delayed. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. We are actively working to resolve this matter quickly, and we'll advise you with an update as soon as possible. Thank you for understanding. So that went out. That was about their March 25th payroll deposit. I think that went out. Was that I can't see whether that was early. Okay, that was Friday, March 25th. It looks like that went out about their March 25th payroll deposit. So then you have the article that came out from the LA Times on Friday morning, okay, Pacific Standard Time. So that would have been about 12:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to pull this up here from the LA Times. I posted this also on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network. So if you follow me there, you saw this article. Shahid Khan's Black News Channel is shutting down. Okay. And in this piece, in this article here, and let me pull this up here. Okay. So in this article, it talks about the Black News Channel, the TV news service that launched in early 2020. They launched in February 2020. So they just celebrated their 2-year anniversary. Launched in early 2020 to be a voice for people of color, is ceasing operations Friday afternoon. A memo to employees from BNC's chief executive, Princell Hare, confirmed the Times' earlier report, the LA Times' earlier report of the closure plans. The company is filing bankruptcy, and live programming will end at 2 p.m. Pacific Daytime, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. The channel will air repeats for the rest of the month. Okay, the channel will air repeats for the rest of the month. Now, the Tallahassee, Florida-based outlet, whose majority stakeholder is Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shahid Khan, failed to meet payroll on Friday a day after telling employees that paychecks would be delayed. Okay, so I think the memo went out Thursday, letting them know that paychecks would be delayed. All right. Now, back in late 2021, there was an article that I read about the Black News Channel. Now, I remember when it was supposed to launch in I remember when JC Watts talking about it in 2019, and it was delayed. The launches were delayed, and the filing launched in February 2020. Okay, so I remember when it initially launched. I remember when the launch got pushed back. Things like this. There was an article in late 2021 that talked about ratings of the Black News Channel. And it said something to the effect, out of 124 cable stations, the Black News Channel was second from the last in ratings. Out of about 124 cable stations, the Black News Channel was second from the last in ratings. Now, I liked a lot of their content. I watch news. I watch MSNBC usually all day. MSNBC. I watch news. Watch local news, cable news. I monitor about 35 different news sources on a daily basis. The information that the Black News Channel had was very unique. Okay, the news coverage they had, the stories that they covered was very unique, and you did not find. They covered a lot of topics pertaining to African Americans that you did not find on MSNBC, CNN, other cable news sources, or a lot of news sources in general. Okay, so this is the piece from LA Times. We posted this on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network. When we come back from the break, I know we're coming up on the break. I'm gonna let you hear part of Roland Martin Unfiltered from Friday, and I was on the show. You're going to hear from me also, and I'll make some more comments as well. So, this is now their content is still on their YouTube channel, BNC. I share some of the content here on this show. They covered some really good topics, and also see Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, whose show was on 8 p.m. on Friday, on Monday through Friday, Black News Tonight. He would cover news from the African diaspora also. Okay, so you got that while Ukrainian TV is on almost 24/7, which that's what I call MSNBC now, Ukrainian TV, because that's basically what they cover 90% of the time, what's going on in Ukraine. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation of Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, stand by. LaQuinta, that ain't had nothing to do with it. She had been confirmed by the U.S. Senate 3 times previously. Y'all need to do more research. Stop listening to these stupid ass people on social media. Stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was not only eminently qualified, but she was already confirmed by the Senate 3 times previously. Y'all need to do more research. You listen to a bunch of dumbasses on social media. Okay, stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. All right. Dr. Carolyn R. Green. One of the reasons why the Black News Channel failed is because Black people didn't support it. Not enough. There were other they didn't market it well. They had excellent content. They didn't market it well, but African Americans didn't support it either. Now, if it was some stupid stuff on social, if it was some stupid stuff, we would support that. Okay. See, if it was some nonsense, if it was some stupid stuff, we would support that. If it was like the Shade Room News Channel, we support BS like that. But that content right there, you ain't gonna find the closest content to that they had on the Black News Channel is Roland Martin Unfiltered. But Roland don't have somebody to invest $50 million in his Black Star Media. But they have that content that they had on the Black News Channel, and the amount of African American experts that they brought on, okay, the amount of African American experts they brought on, also, you're not gonna find that other. The only place you will find something like that is Roland Martin Unfiltered. You had legal analysts like Candace Kelly on. I know Candace through being the panelist on Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right, y'all need to do more research. Back from break in 3 minutes. We all didn't know it was as good as you're letting us know right now. I would love, yeah, Black News Channel. But see, their viewership on their YouTube channel. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022. And we are live. I was talking to the people on Facebook and YouTube during the break who are watching us. Now, we're broadcasting on 910 AM Superstation's Facebook page, 910 AM Superstation on Facebook. Also on my social media platforms, The African History Network on Facebook, The African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Okay. We're going to talk about, so on today's show, once again, we're going to deal with the Black News Channel is shutting down. Black News Channel was, see, one of the problems is the Black News Channel is in 250 million homes, right? But they averaged 4,000 viewers per hour on the Black News Channel, and then it went up to about 10,000 viewers per hour. So they had some real problems there. But one, it was a good effort. Two, they had some fantastic content. I monitor about 35 different news sources on a daily basis. You look at my Facebook posts, okay? You look at the content we have on this show, all right? They have some phenomenal content on the Black News. They had some phenomenal content on the Black News Channel. The amount of African-American experts they brought on, attorneys, political strategists, doctors, scientists, things like this. The only place you find something like that, basically, is Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right, I want to go back to this article briefly from the LA Times. And then there was an article from Tallahassee.com that published a letter that Prince Hare sent to email to staff on Friday, March 25th, 2:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Prince Hare was the CEO of the Black News Channel, the Tallahassee-based Black News Channel. And when I posted about this on our Facebook page, I got a number of people saying they never heard of the Black News Channel. Okay. Now, they did, the Black News Channel, at least here in Detroit, I don't know about across the country, but at least here in Detroit, they didn't have billboards, things like this. I knew about it because I'm in media. So I read this stuff. And I know some of the people who are panelists on there. Okay. So I knew about it before it even launched. But I was just astounded by the number of people who said they never heard of the Black News Channel. And they said, hey, they would have watched it if they had known about it. Okay. This was one of the problems. They had a problem. One of the problems was their marketing strategy. All right. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. Okay, so I want to go back to this article briefly. Then we're going to go to this clip. Taylor, almost called you Shakita. Taylor from the Black News Channel. All right. So Shahid Khan, who is the owner of the Baltimore Ravens NFL team, he's the principal investor. He invested $50 million. J.C. Watts was going to different investors to try to get them to invest. He couldn't get the type of money that he needed until Shahid Khan came in and invested $50 million. So Shahid Khan became the majority investor. So this announcement means that BNC staff of 230, a vast majority of whom are people of color or out of work, they have been told benefits will last through next week, and there will be no severance pay, according to one person briefed on the plans. Now, that may be updated. The LA Times hasn't updated it. That may change. Don't know. If it does change, we'll update you on our shows this week. Now, Shahid Khan was no longer willing to invest further, according to people briefed on the matter. The channel has been shopped to a number of media companies, including Byron Allen's Entertainment Studios, but there were no takers. The company endured several rounds of layoffs in recent months. So I read about the layoffs. I knew something like this was going to happen. And see, the other thing that caused me to realize something was really going on is they had a campaign celebrating their 2-year anniversary, and they were asking people, when you watch the Black News Channel, and like I said, I watch them every day, they had a campaign and they were asking viewers to watch 2 shows at least 15 minutes a day and to post on social media about it. Well, when I hear that, watch 15 minutes a day, I know they're trying to increase their ratings. So the AC Nielsen ratings, they're trying to increase the AC Nielsen ratings, need to watch 15 minutes. So I understand that. I'm not mad at them for that. I understand that. But that follows the article that I saw late in 2021 that talked about how out of about 124 cable stations, they were second from last as far as ratings. All right. So, and let me just say this, having an African-American news channel is really hard because so many of our people want entertainment. It's really hard. So many people I want. So, yeah, I mean, if you had a Black Housewives 24-hour channel, oh, you get big ratings. If you had like a Love and Hip Hop 24-hour channel or something like that, you get ratings. So many of our people want conflict, mess, gossip, nonsense. Okay. But when you have a Black news channel, it's hard to get top advertisers. If you have singing and dancing, if you have comedy, you can get the advertisers much better. I know this from having been in radio sales 20 years ago here in Detroit at one of the top R&B music stations here in Detroit. And it was hard to get even then, it was hard to get a lot of the top advertisers, because in radio, in media in general, but also in radio, you had what was known back in the late 90s. You had what was known called no urban dictate. Look this up, no urban dictate. I learned about this being in radio sales. Okay. And Tom Joyner talked about this. This went national, no urban dictate. What no urban dictate meant was that the corporations, these white-owned corporations, said, we don't need to advertise in African-American owned or African-American targeted media. We can advertise in mainstream media and get African-American listeners. So we don't have to spend money with African-American owned or targeted media, because you all are going to listen to white-owned stations, watch white-owned stations on TV, things like this, and we can get African-American viewers that way. And what this does is this prevents a lot of African-American owned, especially, but also targeted media companies from being able to grow. They can't get the top advertisers, or if they can get top advertisers, they really want to undercut them on when it comes to how much they're paying for the ads. When I was on the Empowerment Radio Network with Dave Anderson, we had Dave Anderson, Bev Smith, Warren Ballantyne. We had who else was on there? Rashad Ritchie, things like this. It was hard to get. This was nationally syndicated radio. It was nationally syndicated radio back in 2015, 2016. I was on the Empowerment Radio Network. It was hard to get top advertisers because we weren't doing comedy. We weren't playing music. We were dropping knowledge. We were 24-hour talk radio, but it was empowerment radio. It wasn't a Negro radio station. We had Professor Griff on at one point. We had Roland Martin when Warren Ballentine left, the attorney, my frat brother Warren Ballentine. When Warren Ballentine left, Roland Martin came. It was hard to get top advertisers for that because we weren't doing singing and dancing, shucking and jiving. So this is the game that we have to play. And it's hard to get African American owned businesses to advertise because a lot of them, to the amount of money in having sold radio ads to African American owned businesses here in Detroit 20 years ago, a lot of them don't make enough money to be able to advertise on a lot of radio stations. I'm not going to call any other station names, but they're still around. But a lot of them don't make enough money. And one of the things that I heard oftentimes was, when we make some money, we'll advertise. This is what I heard. A lot of new startup businesses, now new Black startup businesses. This is what I heard. When we make some money, we'll advertise. Well, how the hell people gonna know you here if you don't advertise? Now, this was before social media started. So Facebook didn't even exist at this time. We're talking about 99, 2000. Okay. Facebook didn't exist. You had MySpace. Twitter didn't exist. Okay. YouTube wasn't founded in 2005. Okay. Social media has helped level the playing field a lot, but how do people know to go to your social media site? You have to do some type of advertising to get people to go to your social media site as well, or social media pages. So this is understanding the marketing game. Okay. So, and it's very racist too. My degree is in business administration with a major in marketing at the university. The advertising agencies is very racist. So these are the games that people who are out here trying to maneuver and trying to get information to African Americans. These are the type of hoops we have to jump through to be able to stay on the air, stay alive, things like this. I've been doing this show here on 910 AM Superstation WFDF. It'll be 6 years in April. I don't get paid to do this. I do it because it's needed. I got to find other ways to finance all this stuff. All right. Speaking of financing, if you like this type of information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN show through Cash App, $ the AHN show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me / the AHN show. You visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register for the online courses I teach on Saturdays and Sundays dealing with history. We'll tell you some more about that on the other side of the break. When we come back from the break, also, we're going to go to, who is it? Didn't we have a caller? Who is this? Have a caller. Okay, we'll go to Olaf. This is Olaf. We'll go to Olaf line 1. Calling numbers 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. Also, I'm gonna let you hear. I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday, so we're going to share some excerpts of that as well. Roland broke down what happened with the Black News Channel, and we have a lot more for you. And we'll talk about Ketanji Brown Jackson, how she was mistreated by Republicans, as well at her Senate confirmation hearing for U.S. Supreme Court Justice. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. All right, how's everybody doing? Share this broadcasting on social media platforms. Invite your friends to tune in. Okay, we're freezing up. Are we freezing up? We should be. It looks it's moving on my end. Are we freezing up? Yeah, but see, everybody don't understand, Martell. Everybody don't understand. I've taught entrepreneurship for 7 years. Everybody don't understand how to market a business. What may be easy for you is not easy for other people. Other people, they may be good at like being a mechanic, but they don't know how to market the business. I've taught entrepreneurship for 7 years. Everybody don't understand that. Stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. How's everybody doing? Share this broadcasting and social media platforms. Invite your friends to tune in here. We're going to post the information here about my online courses also. Now, Senator Cory Booker's speech, when he on day 3 of the confirmation hearings, when he talked to Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, we shared this on our show. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to be rebroadcasting that all throughout the week. I shared his entire conversation with her. And just so people know, because you had some dumbasses who were criticizing what Cory Booker said, and he said, oh, he didn't take time to question her, things like this. He did that on day 2 of the hearings. I watched all 4 days. Senator Cory Booker, that what you saw and what went viral was day 3. Senator Cory Booker asked basically all the questions he had on day 2. That was his second time around with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. And he said, you got 5 more people to question you on day 3. Basically, no new questions were really asked by the time it came back to Cory Booker the second time around. All right, Joya, Lawrence, Martell, Daphne, Fly Girl, how's everybody doing? Okay, who still needs to register for the online courses I teach on Saturdays and Sundays? Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And we do this on Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 a.m. the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and we are live. I was during the break, I was talking to the people on our social media platforms who are watching us. We've got Daniel, and we've got Robert Campbell, who always watches, and we've got Lawrence Ross, who always watches us, and Joya, who watches, and Fly Girl. Fly Girl called in a couple Sundays ago. We have LaQuita. This is LaQuinta. We have LaQuinta watching us on Facebook as well. And who else we have? Daphne, Adrian, just a few of the people watching us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, then also on our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, Imhotep. Now, very quickly, before we go to the phone lines, you can still register for the online classes I teach on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday, it is Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and Maafa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. This is a 10-week online class that I teach, and we deal with thousands of years of history, and we deal with what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place, okay? And we take you throughout history, and we also deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors. So I do a PowerPoint presentation. We have book references, articles, video clips, all of that. I'm going to post a link here. You can visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. It's right on the homepage. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch it anytime. So a year from now, you can go back and watch the entire 10-week online class, all right? The class is regularly $130. It's on sale $60. As soon as you register, you can watch the classes we did this weekend. On Sunday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., I teach from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. We start in 1803 with the Louisiana Purchase and the Haitian Revolution, and we go through and see what leads up to the Civil War taking place. Then we deal with the Civil War, 1861, 1865, Reconstruction, 1865, 1877. We deal with the presidential election of 1876. We dealt with that in class today. Samuel J. Tilden from New York versus Rutherford B. Hayes of Ohio. And then we deal with the Compromise of 1877, which ends Reconstruction. We deal with things like the Black Exodus of 1879, when 6,000 African Americans leave primarily Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, going out west to Kansas. We deal with the Jim Crow era, World War I, World War II, Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement, and the Great Migration, 1915 to 1970. That's the second class I teach. I do this on Sundays, from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. That class is on sale, also $60. So that's at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We have a bundle pack where you get both classes for $100. That's a $260 value. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to, is this Olaf? Olaf, line 1. Welcome to the African History Network show. Thanks for holding. Tell us where you're calling from.
What's up, man? Yeah, this is Olaf calling from Brightmoor, Detroit.
Brightmoor, Detroit. Okay, go ahead, man. Thanks for holding.
Yes, sir. My man. Hey, Mike, and you are so right. I knew this was going to happen too, because that was a great network. Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
That Lamont Hill show, man, that was the best show on TV besides Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, it was great content on his show. I mean, the whole station as a whole. Now, I could never catch it here in Detroit. You know, I would just watch. I don't think they even aired it here in Detroit.
No, it's channel 1116, channel 1116 on Comcast.
See, I don't have Comcast.
Okay, well, now they have some streaming services. You can stream it on Roku. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I understand you something. I got Xfinity, but what I would do, I would watch it on the YouTube channel.
Right. Well, Xfinity, that's what I mean. Comcast. Xfinity's Comcast. Yeah, Xfinity is channel 1116 on Xfinity. And they are on some streaming networks. Now, I don't see they're on Roku also. I don't know if they started on streaming networks, but they've added streaming recently. I just found out they added streaming. I watch them on Xfinity. I pay this high Xfinity bill each month. So yeah. But,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I had that in my package. That's what it is. I don't think I had that in my package or something because I didn't have it.
But here's something funny, Olaf, and I'll let you continue. So last year I just upgraded to the new Xfinity cable box because I had this old box that I've had for years and it worked. So I'm so busy I ain't make any problems about it. But early last year I called Xfinity because I wanted to get the Black News channel, and they told me that I had to my cable box that I had was an old box, and they said the way that the Black News channel, the way the network is set up, I can't get it on my old cable box. So I had to go to Comcast, take in my box, get the new box. When I got the new box, I was able to get the Black News channel. All right. So it has something to do with the way that they were brought the linear broadcasting they were doing. It has something to do with that. But my thing was, wait a second. Now I can get Negro nonsense on all the cable stations. I don't need the new box to get Negro nonsense, but I gotta get the new box to get some Black knowledge. Okay, so
ain't that stuff? You know what? Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's great. I can believe it. I can tell you a real quick story back in the days when Roland Martin was on News One Now.
Yeah.
And I saw it on my partner's house, and he had Direct TV at the time. I had something else. I got Direct TV just so I could get TV One to watch Roland Martin Unfiltered, and that was about the only cable network that would show TV One. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Because Roland would do his he would do News One Now. It was like 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. something like that. Then they went 2 hours, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. he'd do his nationally syndicated radio show. You know who used to guest host his nationally syndicated radio show, right?
Yep, I remember that. And you used to co-host for when he was missing. You would fill in.
Exactly.
I remember.
And I remember when he had Minister. I remember when he had Minister Farrakhan on. I think it was 2015. He had Minister Farrakhan on for an hour on News One Now.
Yeah.
Dude, come on, man. And then they started talking about Dr. King's last speech, and Dr. King was talking about redistributing the pain and targeted sustained economic withdrawal strategies. Yeah. Exactly. But it was hard. It was hard for them to get the. It was hard. I'll let you finish in just a second, Olaf. It was hard for them to get the top advertising, and one of the things that happened was when you had during a I can't remember whether it was then or before then or something, but I know Kathy Hughes talked about during a recession how the car manufacturers, the auto industry was the largest advertiser. It's usually the largest advertiser in a lot of African-American oriented television, car manufacturers. And when you had a recession, the car manufacturers cut way back on their advertising dollars. And Kathy Hughes talked about how she had to lay off a lot of people. I think that may have been before News One Now was canceled, but I know Kathy Hughes talked about having to lay off a lot of people from TV1 as well.
Right.
Yeah. But okay, man.
That's right.
Okay. Did was that it?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
And she had, and a lot of her radio stations, she like WCHB. Remember all the talk shows they had here, right here in Detroit.
Now we don't mention other radio stations like a rule or unwritten rule in radio is like you don't mention other radio stations in the same market. I understand what you're saying, but go ahead. But then we'll do that. But anyway, yeah, they had to. What happened was because I knew the people over at Radio One. And they had to lay off here in this market. They had to lay off a lot of people, and they had to just nasty, just generally speaking. They had to. What happened was, and you brought up the radio. I was talking about TV1 just so people understand. But just generally speaking, what happened was when the auto manufacturers cut back on advertising on TV1, that really hurt TV1 and it hurt her other business also. Okay. All right, Olaf. I gotta get these other calls, man. And I gotta get to this clip here. Okay.
I appreciate you, man.
Okay. All right, no problem. Thanks for calling. All right. Stand by. We're coming up on a break. This is what I want to do. Okay, let's go to John quickly and let's get John in before this break. John, welcome to the African History Network show. Thanks for holding. Tell us where you're calling from, John.
I'm calling from Detroit, the east side of Detroit. And I try to thank you for educating the people about how to get black news channel. Because I tried it myself and I couldn't get it. And I have to tell you, home team, I took that doggone TV off and I ain't turned on, I had to take on it almost a year. I don't watch it no more. I listen to the radio and your show all the time, and black cable and radio stations. But I tried to get it and I couldn't get it. So thanks for educating people how to get it. And I have to remind you, President Barack Obama told me to cut them doggone TVs off because they was watching too much of that junk and so forth. So that's all it was, a Negro junk.
Right.
And the Minister Farrakhan told them they had to advertise black newspaper, black radio, black economic trade, and all that. That's told that too at the Million Man March. I don't know why they keep on fooling with that garbage on there.
Right. Okay. All right. Stand by, John. All right. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep, and we're coming up here on a commercial break. Calling numbers 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. When we come back, I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday. We're going to let you hear some of that. We talked about the Black News Channel shutting down and what should have happened, some of the mistakes they made. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. All right, back from break in 4 minutes. How's everybody doing? All right. Share this broadcast on social media platforms. This is Michael. I'm not calling. We're on break. I'm all right. I mean, you came to me. We're on break. Oh no. He's okay. He's okay. Is he still on the line? What did he say? Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Stand. Okay. That's cool. Oh, you have clip one queued up from Roland Martin Unfiltered, right? Okay, so clip one, because we're gonna start that at the, where is that? We're gonna start that at the 4 minute 32 second mark. Okay, all right, cool. Thanks. All right, stand by, everybody. Why did the Black News Channel hire that many people? About two? Well, they didn't hire all 200 at one time. They grew too quickly. They didn't start out with 200 plus people. That's not what happened. I'm gonna talk about that on the other side of the break. Stand by. Okay, who still needs to register for the online classes I teach on Saturdays and Sundays? Stand by, everybody. All right, next class is Saturday, April 2nd, 2022. As soon as you register, you can watch the class we did this weekend. Oh, that's 4-3. That's the wrong one. That is welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and we are live. All right, John, I know you were just on. If you have something else to say, John, you can call back. Okay. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and we are live. Okay. So we're back from break, and I know, John, you were on right before the break. If you still have something to say, John, you can call back. Okay, be sure to register for the online courses I teach on Saturdays and Sundays. We just posted the link here. I want to go to, right before the break, we were talking about the Black News Channel announcing on Friday, March 25th, that they're shutting down for good after 2 years. They just celebrated a 2-year anniversary. I posted about this on my Facebook fan page, The African History Network, on Friday. I did a couple of social media posts and posted some articles dealing with this. And we also talked about it on Roland Martin Unfiltered when I was on Friday, March 25th. It was a big article from the LA Times about this. And we've been talking about some of this. We talked about this during the first part of the first hour. I want to go to this clip here from Roland Martin Unfiltered, and Roland is explaining what happened with the Black News Channel. Let's go to this clip.
So let me unpack this so you can understand what went on here. BNC actually launched. They made the announcement in 2019. Former Congressman J.C. Watts, it was his vision to launch a Black news cable network. He had been trying to do this for more than a decade. And he and I communicated in March of 2018. I asked him what was the state of it, and he said that investors were going through the process of vetting their financials. And then it was later that year, probably around December, when they actually began to close on it. Then they announced they were going to be launching. They kept having the date pushed back and pushed back. They didn't launch until really February 2020. But a major investor did come in, Shahid Khan, the Pakistani American billionaire who was the owner of the NFL Jacksonville Jaguars. He came in and invested $50 million into Black News Channel, thus becoming the majority shareholder. So Black News Channel went from being a Black-owned cable network to a Black targeted cable network by virtue of him being the majority owner. This is JC and Shahid Khan talking about the Black News Channel before they launched.
All right, I'm not getting any sound, Taylor.
Launch a TV network focused on the African American viewers.
Well, Catherine, the Black News Channel is culturally specific to the African American community. You've got 200 plus stations on any cable system. We are the one location that you can come and find out about wellness, culture, current affairs as it relates to the African American community. So we launched November 15th of this year. We're looking forward to creating a venue that African Americans can find culturally specific issues pertaining to them.
Congrats. Shad, you're an investor in this channel, and I'm wondering, when you looked at this, how do you think that the Black News Channel will compete against news networks that already have the resources?
Well, I think it's going to do real well. To add to what JC was saying, it's specific needs of the community that's for the underserved, the African American. It's great for me to be part of it. It's been under planning for a long time, and then to come in and help provide financially so it launches well.
You heard there where J.C. Watt said that they were launching in November of 2019. That got pushed to December, then January, and finally in February. So they launched in February 2020. Well, guess what? After they launched, the co-CEO, Bob Brillante, he was actually let go. They announced he was moving on in pursuit of opportunities, but he was let go from the network. He, of course, launched the Florida News Channel. And of course, and he always had his idea of actually doing a Black news network. You folks may not realize that when you had Major Broadcasting Cable Network, they had partnered with him to actually do something similar to BNC, and so they did it first. This is a photo. This is a photo. It's a story right here in the Tallahassee newspaper when he stepped down after a couple of months. You see, the story was dated April 13th, 2020. So here's what happened after that. You see that this was their original logo right here. Then they brought in Prince O'Hare, longtime television news executive. He eventually became the CEO, and he led a massive rebranding of the network. You see that logo that's right behind him? That was their new branding. They changed their whole slogan to Truth, and they went through all of these different changes, and then they went on this huge hiring spree, hiring a number of people. You heard in the letter he wrote, it referenced the 250 Black journalists and production folks that they hired. Here was the fundamental problem with Black News Channel, because people have been asking me this question: why did this fail? Why is it didn't succeed? What's going on? What's the whole deal here? The reality is this here. It was the absolute worst time to launch a cable network. Why? Because the world had been changing. The cord cutting came in. People began to get rid of cable. Then they began to go towards online. I told J.C. Watts directly, don't launch a linear network. Launch it as a digital network. I said, why? More cost effective. You can grow it faster and larger, and you're not going to be able to spend as much money. Now, why does that matter? A lot of people out there are saying, this ain't right. I mean, this man is a billionaire. He got the money. Y'all, folks who are billionaires ain't in the business of losing money. That ain't what they do. They see what's going on. If you don't see the profit potential, I'm cutting ties. My understanding, the last 3 months, he's been struggling and not wanting to fund what's been going on. You read the letter where they had the layoffs in December. Those were not enough layoffs. They were burning too much cash. So the first mistake they made was launching a linear network. I need you to understand the cable business. You know the cable business, how it has always worked. You get paid for subscribers. So if you're in 51 million homes, you negotiate the deal where you get 2 cents, 3 cents, 5 cents, a dime, a quarter. You look at $1. The most expensive folks in terms of on cable networks have long been ESPN, Fox News, because the amount of money they get per cable subscriber. So if you have cable television right now, when you look at your bill, you look at how much money in your bill, a significant portion, the largest portion of your bill right now is going to Fox News and ESPN.
Okay, pause it right there.
Pause it right there. Bill got too high.
Pause it right there. All right, we're coming up on a break. We're going to continue this on the other side of the break. Back that up to about the 10-minute mark, Taylor. Back that up to about the 10-minute mark. We're going to pick it up there on the other side of the break. I was on Roland's panel on Friday. I talked about the Black News Channel as well. We're going to talk about this some more on the other side of the break. What can we learn? Because the next channel that launches, we don't want to make the same mistakes that the Black News Channel made. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, BNC was on Tubi. Yeah, they did. They added a lot of the streaming services on different streaming platforms later. And when you watch, when you go to their YouTube channel, you will see on their YouTube channel what they started doing is there's a trailer at the beginning of the videos, and it talks about the different streaming platforms they're on. Okay, but they added those different streaming platforms probably in the last few months, because usually when you watch them, and even in the videos, like 3 months ago, 2 months ago, that information was not in the beginning of the videos about the streaming platforms. But the content that they had, they should, I mean, they were covering, see, they were covering not just Africans in Ukraine who were being mistreated when they're trying to leave Ukraine. They also were talking about African nations who were staying neutral on Ukraine and Russia invading Ukraine. They were dealing with different aspects of this that you don't find in mainstream media. They had Dr. Greg Carr. They would have Dr. Greg Carr regularly on the Black News Channel. Dr. Greg Carr from Howard University. Okay, back from break in 4 minutes. They've always been behind the curve on monetizing. So monetizing means generating revenue. An investment is not generating revenue. An investment, they had an initial investment of 50 million from Shahid Khan. They've always had problems generating revenue, and they were burning through too much cash too soon. And they tried to grow too quickly. They meant well, but there were some mistakes that were made. They meant well, but they brought on a lot of journalists and brought on a lot of higher paid hosts as well that cost a lot of money, and it wasn't generating the money. Back from break in 2 minutes. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and we are live. Calling numbers 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. So we were talking about the first hour, we're talking about the Black News Channel announced Friday, March 25th. That they're shutting down, and the CEO of the Black News Channel, Princell Hare, announced this.
WSDF Farmington.
Are we live? Are we back on air? Okay.
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Sunday, March 27th, 2022, and we are live. Calling numbers 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. Okay, so in the first hour, we were talking about the Black News Channel. Princell Hare, CEO of the Black News Channel, announced on Friday, March 25th, that due to financial problems, the Black News Channel was shutting down for good. We know there had been rumblings about financial problems. They had low ratings, things like this. I've been reading about this for the past few months. I watched the Black News Channel every day. I knew some of the panelists on the Black News Channel. I knew Yodit Tawalde. I interviewed Yodit a couple of times a few years ago when I used to guest host for Roland Martin on his nationally syndicated radio show. Some of the content from the Black News Channel I would share on this show. They had some really good content, but there were some fundamental mistakes that were made. They tried to grow too quickly. They brought on a lot of journalists, things like this, quality journalists, but they were growing too quickly and did not generate the revenue that was needed to sustain the expenditures. They had low ratings. But one of the mistakes that was made was that they were launched as a linear network as opposed to a digital network. They should have done streaming. It should have been a streaming network as opposed to a network on cable, because it's more expensive to do a network on cable, and they were not getting the subscribership fees that is required to really sustain a network like that. Now, I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday, and we talked about this, and Roland broke down some information about the Black News Channel from being in media and understanding media. Okay, let's go back to this clip, Taylor.
Or you get paid for subscribers. So if you're in 51 million homes, you negotiate a deal where you get 2 cents, 3 cents, 5 cents, a dime, a quarter. You look at $1. The most expensive folks in terms of on cable networks have long been ESPN, Fox News, because the amount of money they get per cable subscriber. So if you have cable television right now, when you look at your bill, you look at how much money in your bill. A significant portion, the largest portion of your bill right now is going to Fox News and ESPN. That's why people start cutting cable. They said cable bill got too high, spending $100, $150, $200 for cable. They said that's enough. The problem for Black News Channel, they were not getting subscription fees. So they were a 100% ad-supported cable network. Well, folks, that subscription fee is a revenue line. That means that you're airing on the network, hoping folks are watching. You need to have high numbers so you can actually get advertising. When you don't have high numbers in cable, you get what is called bottom of the barrel advertising, which is direct marketing. What's direct marketing? That's when you're sitting on seeing those commercials with a 1-800 number attached to it, and it's Joe Namath doing some kind of insurance pitch, or Jimmy J.J. Walker. That's direct marketing, folks. Those are the commercials that you're seeing. Those commercials, you get money, low amount of money. So those were the majority of the advertisers that were on the network. They were only averaging a few months ago 4,000 viewers in an hour. Now, the numbers begin to improve, begin to go up around 10,000 this week because of the confirmation hearings. Is their best ever numbers. Their best ever numbers. And so, well, guess what? It got cut. Now, you're watching and you might be saying, wait a minute, this guy Shahid Khan, he put in $50 million. My goodness, how in the world is it they somehow could not solve this thing and figure it out? Let me unpack that as well, folks. I need y'all to understand the economics. There's a whole bunch of people been tweeting me all day. I don't understand why this couldn't work. I don't know, why couldn't some Black celebrities get together and buy it? Why couldn't Byron Allen buy it? Y'all, if a billionaire Shahid Khan cut ties, why in the hell would Byron Allen or somebody else do it? Now, I was told that Byron Allen did offer $30 million to buy the network. Khan did not accept that. He wanted $100 million. Why? He'd already put in $50 million. But even at $30 million really didn't make any sense, because Byron could simply take that money and put 10 or 15 million in his Griot channel, and the Griot website build up their news side, and you don't have to assume all the debt from the Black News Channel. Second thing is, you were not big enough from a marketing standpoint. A lot of people said, I never heard of the Black News Channel. You didn't see billboards and commercial and digital ads. You didn't see a major social media presence. That costs money. So let me tell y'all what went on. Now, I did have some negotiations with them. When Bob Brilliante was co-CEO of the network, they approached me about hosting a show on the Black News Channel. We met here, we did a conference call, we met here in D.C. This is a true story, y'all. I've never told this publicly. People who know me personally, I've discussed this offline. They met with me and they wanted me to host a primetime show, 30 minutes, which first of all made no sense whatsoever. You don't host a 30-minute damn show, you do the whole hour. It's a 24-hour network. If you do a 30-minute show, you got to put another 30-minute show behind it. But that made no sense. So they wanted me to host a 30-minute show, and they were going to have Larry Elder follow me and they offered me $85,000 to host a 30-minute show. And then they wanted me to also utilize my social media, promote the network. I said, I'm not even responding to that offer. I'm sorry. I made $85,000 running Tom Jonas' website, blackamericaweb.com in 2001. Do you actually think after what I've accomplished over the next 18 years, I'm going to take $85,000? Hell no.
All right. Pause it right there.
Pause it
right there, Taylor. We're going to go to clip 2. Cue it up for clip 2. We're going to clip 2 just a second. Let's go back to the phone lines in just a minute. And then you're going to hear my responses to this also. Because as I talked about in the first hour, we talked about some of the mistakes that the Black News Channel made. Now, they have fantastic content. I watch the Black News Channel every day. Once again, I know some of the people on there, some of the panelists, Amisha Cross, Candace Kelly, legal analyst, my girl Monique Presley. My girl Monique Presley was on there, attorney Monique. I watch her on Instagram. I watch her show on Instagram. She had Yudita Wode on a couple of days ago on her Instagram channel, Monique Presley. And they were talking about the confirmation hearings of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. You see my man, Dr. Greg Carr. A lot of those people you see on the Black News Channel, you see in Roland Martin Unfiltered. Dr. Greg Carr, he's spoken here in Detroit at least twice I know of. I've been to some of his lectures. He's been to some of mine. We were at the Dr. Ron Walters, State of the Black World conference back in 2016 after Trump won the election. Dr. Greg Carr, chair of the Afro-American Studies Department at Howard University. He's a regular on the Black News Channel. They had some really good content. It just, one of the problems was it was not marketed correctly. Let's go back to the phone lines. Is it Ron that we have next, Taylor? Whoever's next.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you doing? Is this Ron?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Ron. Okay, thanks, Ron. Thanks for holding. Tell us where you're calling from, Ron.
Southfield.
Okay, go ahead with your question or comment.
2 questions.
Go ahead.
One, you said, did I hear you right when you said that the DNC would be running some old newscasts?
Yeah, what they're going to do is the rest of this month they're going to re-air broadcast. They were airing documentaries, stuff like that. They're going to re-air that. What they've been doing so far is re-airing some of the coverage they had of the confirmation hearing of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. So they're going to re-air pre-recorded content throughout the rest of this month.
Okay, what time and what day? And it's on Comcast, 11/16, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're on 24 hours.
What time?
They're on 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day?
Yeah.
On 11/16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Ron.
Yeah.
While you watch the Black News Channel, have 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF on at the same time, okay? Okay.
Well, I only listen to. I mean, my favorite person. I mean, I catch you at times.
Ron.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
This is not my radio station. If you had the Black News Channel on, have 9:10 a.m. Superstation on at the same time, okay, Ron?
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you.
So,
go ahead.
Minister Farrakhan. You said Minister Farrakhan comes on. Is this TV1?
No, what I said was back in I think it was 2015. Roland Martin interviewed Minister Farrakhan on his show on TV1 News One Now with Roland Martin back in 2016. He interviewed him for an hour. Okay. Yeah, but I think Minister Farrakhan comes on. Last time I saw the schedule, I think he's on 9:10 a.m. in the morning on the weekend, like 6 a.m. something, 5 a.m. something like that. Taylor, check Taylor.
And that's why I was asking you. I just can't get up at that time of morning. I like to hear him, but that's just me. You know, I just can't. I know I won't make it. I'm not up at.
Okay, hold just 1 second, Ron. Slow down, just a second. Yeah. Taylor, do me a favor. If you can check the schedule for 9:10 a.m. Just text me when Minister Farrakhan on the Nation of Islam is on 9:10. Okay, thanks, Taylor. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, if he's on anywhere from 8 on up, I can catch him. But I understand. I'm not suggesting that he should change his time or anything like that. You know, I mean, he has to do what's convenient for him. I got that. I don't have a problem with that. Right. I just won't make it. But I'd like to hear him if he was on later. So I'll wait and see if your engineer tell you what time it is. It might be
so we'll let people know.
and
We'll
that
let
way
people know about the programming here on the radio station. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Do you have another comment, Ron?
That's it, Mike.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thanks,
Okay.
Ron.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
calling. Keep listening. Okay, let's go to okay, let's do it. I want to go to hold on. We're gonna go to clip 2 here in just a second, Taylor. So we've got clip 2. Okay, so this is Roland Martin Unfiltered again. This is another portion of that discussion. Let's go to clip 2, Taylor.
They simply had too many people. They were doing live shots from different places that made no sense whatsoever. You have to maximize your expenses and maximize your revenue. They had too much money going out of the door, not enough money going in. You can look great, but no advertiser is going to give you money, no real advertiser, if you only have 4,000 people watching. The other thing is they didn't have deep pockets. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me pull this up so y'all can understand. Brian Roberts, who is the CEO of Comcast, said point blank on a conference call the other day that Peacock, y'all know Peacock, right? Network that NBC launched. Do y'all know? Don't show it yet. But do y'all understand how much money Peacock lost last year? Go to my iPad. Formerly known as
Okay, there was an ad there. Peacock, which is the streaming service for NBC streaming service, Peacock lost $1.7 billion in 2021. Okay, and Peacock is expected to lose $2.5 billion in 2022 also, as they acquire more content, etc. Okay, let's go back to the clip, Taylor.
Last year, Peacock, the new streaming network of NBC, lost $1.7 billion in 2021. $1.7 billion. Y'all, in the same article, he said,
okay, we're gonna pause it right there.
For 2022.
Pause it right there. All right, back that up to about the 20-minute mark, and we'll pick it up there on the other side of the break. It's blowing my mind. Wait a second. You have $1.7 billion to lose, and you still in the game? This is a different world. Is one of my favorite TV shows, but this is a different world. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. Stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. In the game. Okay, back from break in 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Stand by.
Show we deal with current events of history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Unfortunately, many people confuse what racism is. Racism is a power structure. It was laws and policies that put us in this predicament. It's going to be laws and policies that take us out. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the compass of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know.
We have it on 910 AM Superstation.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on the 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. All right. Right before the break, I was sharing this segment of Roland Martin Unfiltered, and I was on the show. This is from Friday, March 25th. We were talking about the Black news channels shutting down. We're going to go back to that in just a second here. But ScreenRant.com, Roland was talking about Peacock, which is NBC's streaming service. Peacock losing $1.7 billion in 2021. Now, see, this is a whole different world. You got 1.7 billion to lose, and you're still in business. But NBC is publicly traded. It's a publicly traded company. You look at this piece from Screen Rant. See, Black News Channel didn't have deep pockets like, well, I don't know any African American owned business or targeted like that has deep pockets. Okay, Peacock lost $1.7 billion in 2021, despite having 9 million subscribers. By the end of 2021, the streaming service still lost NBC Universal and Comcast $1.7 billion. Okay, because we know NBC is owned by NBC Universal and Comcast. NBC's streaming service, Peacock's losses grew into a staggering total of 1.7 billion by the end of 2021. The service was officially launched in July 2020 during a time that most of the globe was still stuck at home during the early COVID-19 international lockdowns. The service offered exclusive streaming for many popular NBC shows once their streaming agreements with other platforms lapsed, including the fan lamented moment when The Office was removed from Netflix in January 2021. Peacock was also home to certain day and date video on demand releases of 2021 theatrical movies from Universal, including The Boss Baby, Family Business, and Halloween Kills. I ain't see any of that stuff. Their exclusive programming includes original series like the musical comedy Girls Five Ever and the teen drama One of Us is Lying. I don't know what none of this stuff is. As series based on their IP included MacGruber and the updated Da Vinci Code. No wonder y'all lost $1.7 billion. Prequel series The Lost Symbol. They also rebooted several dormant series from the 90s like Punky Brewster, Saved by the Bell, and the upcoming dramatic retelling of Fresh Prince titled Bel Air. Now, Bel Air, a lot of people watch. I haven't watched Bel Air either. A lot of this stuff I don't watch. I'm sorry. I don't watch none of this stuff. I've seen a lot of people posting about Bel Air, and I guess it's pretty good, things like this. But read this article here this is from January 27th, 2022. Peacock lost $1.7 billion in 2021. I'm still trying to get over that. You lose 1.7 billion and you're still in the game, but they're expected to lose. Peacock is expected to lose 2.5 billion in 2022 as they continue to build subscribership and acquire new content. This is a whole different world. Different World is one of my favorite TV shows. This is a whole different world. You can lose 1.7 billion in a year and you're not filing bankruptcy. You're still in the game. Okay, so I want to go back to this clip here from Roland Martin Unfiltered, and Roland is explaining what happened. Let me pull this back up. He's explaining what happened with the Black News Channel. Let's go back to this. Also, before we go to that, Taylor just sent me the information. Minister Farrakhan is on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF. Comes on 5 a.m. What day, Taylor? Just come on the air and tell me, because we got to go. What day is Minister?
Saturdays and Sundays.
Saturdays and Sundays, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Minister Farrakhan is on. Is it a half hour? I guess it's a half hour. Right here on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF. What is it?
It's an hour.
It's an hour. He's on for an hour. Okay, right here on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF. Okay, let's go back to Roland Martin breaking down what happened with the Black News Channel.
Do y'all know? Don't show it yet. But do y'all understand how much money Peacock lost last year? Go to my iPad. Last year, Peacock, the new streaming network of NBC, lost $1.7 billion in 2021. $1.7 billion. Y'all, in the same article, he said, come right here, go back. For 2022, Comcast expects Peacock losses to total about $2.5 billion as its investment in content doubles. And you watching and you're like, whoa, hold on. Y'all lost $1.7 billion last year, and y'all gonna lose $2.5 billion this year. Y'all, they publicly traded. They market cap exceeds $100 billion. They say we can absorb the losses now because what we're actually trying to build towards. Black News Channel had one billionaire who put in $50 million. This is something you need to understand. You cannot keep up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. They were trying to do CNN and MSNBC type news. You can't compete against people who are making, in the case of MSNBC, $700 million in profit. CNN is making $1 billion in profit. Fox News is making $1.5 billion in profit. Now, some of y'all are watching me right now, and y'all are sitting here saying, Roland, I feel you, but,
right,
pause it
right there.
Competition, you hate me.
Pause it right there.
No,
pause
let me.
Pause it right there, Taylor. All right. So you got CNN. First of all, I want to go back to this piece here from Screen Rant dealing with Peacock, and we'll go back to the phone lines, okay? If you look at this article from Screen Rant that talks about Peacock losing $1.7 billion in 2021, okay? It goes on to say Peacock's current plan which is owned by NBC Universal and Comcast. Peacock's current plan is to double down on spending on their original content, which means that they are producing shows. These are shows, that's like Netflix produces shows, things like this, and Amazon. Peacock is doing this. Peacock's current plan is to double down on their spending on original content and focus on expanding their paid subscribers while enticing new ones to the platform. Over the course of the next few years, NBC Universal and their parent company Comcast want to be spending $5 billion a year on original content. I'm in the wrong business. Over the course of the next few years, NBC Universal and their parent company Comcast want to be spending $5 billion a year on original content. If they can continue to scoop up their popular properties from other streaming services as well, they may be able to boost those numbers over the course of several years. This is a different world, okay? Things still aren't looking good for Peacock as a competitive streaming service. However, streaming content was at the top of the food chain in 2020 when out-of-home entertainment options was sparse due to the closure of movie theaters, theme parks, and many other venues. The pandemic boosted the pandemic boost helped Netflix series like Emily in Paris. I don't know what the hell that is. And Bridgerton. I know what Bridgerton is. Never watched it, but I've heard of it. I've seen some clips of it. It helped Emily in Paris and Bridgerton reach the top of the charts. Likewise, Disney Plus, which began debuting its live action Marvel Cinematic Universe series during a time when movie theaters still weren't showing new blockbuster films, is now among the top streaming services in the market. Now, I know about the Marvel, I know about Disney Plus because I see them advertise on Facebook, and they advertise the Falcon and Captain America, all this stuff. So I know about this. I don't have Disney Plus. I have Hulu and Amazon Prime, and barely watch Hulu. I'm trying to think, do I need to cancel Hulu or not? Because I barely watch it. But I know about Disney Plus because they advertise on Facebook. I see their advertisements. Okay, read the rest of this here. This is from Screen Rant from January 27, 2022. Peacock lost $1.7 billion in 2021. All right. When we come back from the break, Taylor, we're going to clip 3. So when we come back from the break, you're going to hear me. I was on Roland's panel. We talked about the Black News Channel. And because this is my show, I have more time to talk. So I'm going to give you some more information about some things that the Black News Channel did wrong. But we can learn from this. They laid a template. Okay. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. Calling numbers 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. Stand by. Back from break in 4 minutes. Dude, come on. You can lose $1.7 billion and you're not filing bankruptcy. You still in the game? Back from break in 3 minutes. $37.45. I'm breaking 2 minutes. Okay, who still needs to register for the online classes I teach on Saturdays and Sundays? Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. All right, do these classes Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Half and break in 1 minute. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. Okay, so we've been talking about the Black News Channel announcing that they were shutting down. And I was sharing excerpts from Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday, March 25th. This was the day that they announced they were shutting down. We're going to clip 3, Taylor. So I'm a panelist on Roland Martin Unfiltered every Friday. I was on Roland's panel on Friday, and I talked about this also. Let's go back to this clip.
For y'all who are watching. My first page out was the Houston Defender, Black-owned newspaper.
Started up at the 37:45.
I wrote for the Dallas Week.
Clip 3 started up at the 37:45.
And y'all hear me talking about Black-owned advertising. Why y'all hear me talk? If you were struggling.
Okay, we'll get that queued up for you. So Roland is talking about the $1 billion that the federal government spends in advertising each year and how African Americans only get a small percentage of that. Let's go back to the clip.
We should get our fair share of the $1 billion the federal government spends every year in advertising. Now I hope you understand why I fight so hard to get our fair share of the $322 billion being spent every single year on advertising that Black-owned media gets 0.5 to 1%. Folks, can there be a Black-owned media network that is thriving and successful? Yes. Are we trying to build it, the Black Star Network? Yes. But do understand, I will not try to act like I'm at the Palm restaurant, but all I got is Golden Corral money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my behind to the Golden Corral and go and enjoy that meal. And then one day I'm going to tell my staff, I'm going to take all y'all out to dinner at the Palm restaurant. What we not going to do is go to the Palm restaurant today, and then I'm telling y'all how great it was when we were together because ain't nobody have any jobs. This is business. And people are hurting, and I totally get it. But the bottom line is there were some strategic mistakes made by the folks at the Black News Channel that led to today's decision. Let's hope others don't make the same mistake. My next guest, hold on 1 second. I do want folks to go right ahead and weigh in. I'll start with you, Michael Imhotep.
Well, Roland, first of all, you just gave what we call in business school, we would call these case studies. You just gave a case study on an African-American media company, okay, African-American targeted media company. So that was fantastic what you just broke down. And, you know, I watched the Black News Channel. I know a lot of the people on there. And I think it was last Friday on your show, I talked about how your YouTube views are much greater than their YouTube views. So that was something I was noticing and there was a disconnect. And then I'm looking at the content. They had good content, but I'm looking at the low YouTube views for most of their videos. Most videos don't get more than probably 2,000 views, most of their videos. Then also, I remember it was some months ago, it talked about how out of 124 cable stations, they were like second from last, something like that.
Yeah, second from last. They were tied with one of Byron Allen's cable networks. I think one of his cable networks. They were averaging 4,000 viewers in prime time.
Yep. So I have respect for J.C. Watts, what he was attempting to do. I may disagree with him here and there. I have respect for what he was trying to do. Hopefully, something. This channel, I've been rolling with you since like 2016, Roland, since I used to guest host your nationally syndicated radio show. So hopefully something else will come along. Streaming is the future. Okay. And lastly, Peacock losing $1.7 billion, man, I'm in the wrong business. I mean, you got $1.7 billion to lose.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Nexstar flipped WGN America to launch News Nation, a cable network, right, and they're losing millions as well, but they're publicly traded. They can afford that. When you have a sole investor, you have to protect every single dollar. Let me go to Kelly. Kelly?
First and foremost, thank you for this masterclass on, communication strategy and business management. I mean, it was phenomenal. And you were absolutely right in everything you said. But the moral of the story here really is to just minimize your expenses and maximize your revenue. And BNC did not do that very well, if at all. And this is what happens when you don't do that. You
pause it right there. Pause it right there, Taylor. Okay. All right. You can watch the rest of that on Roland's YouTube channel, Roland Martin on Facebook and YouTube. Check that out. Download the Black Star Media app as well. Check that out. Kelly Bethea, she's my co-panelist usually each Friday on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Also, attorney Matt Manning was on the panel as well. Okay. So something else. Now, there were people who, because you get these ignorant, I don't want to. So you get these stupid people, to be polite, who are laughing at the Black News Channel shutting down, things like this. First of all, let's look at this. J.C. Watts. Well, let me back up. J.C. Watts went to a number of different investors to get them to invest in the Black News Channel. Okay. The fact that he couldn't get, for whatever reason, I wasn't involved in the meetings, but for whatever reason, the fact that he could not get any African American investors to be the principal investor, $50 million, and you got, I'm gonna call some names. I don't know, maybe went to him, maybe they don't like him, whatever. Michael Jordan, Oprah, Bob Johnson. You got Dr. Dre that just spent $7 million so Negroes could perform the halftime show at the Super Bowl, and the halftime show lasted 14 minutes. Go do the research. Dr. Dre paid $7 million so they could perform the halftime show for a largely white audience, while Colin Kaepernick is still banned from the NFL. So what if Eminem took a knee? And he paid $7 million for that. So the fact that J.C. Watts, for whatever reason, couldn't get African Americans to solely invest the Black News Channel, and Shahid Khan came in with a $50 million investment, dude, that's, to me, that's sad for us. That's sad for us that it came down to that. Okay. Now, also, when you look at, just looking at the numbers, 7 billion, you had, 700 million. MSNBC made $700 million in profit last year. CNN, $1 billion in profit. Fox News, $1.5 billion. So the Black News Channel, one of the things you should have done is start a streaming service. started streaming only as opposed to going the cable route, because it would have been much cheaper. They had some good journalists, but they tried to grow too quickly, bring on a lot of these journalists too quickly, high paid, some of the higher paid TV hosts, things like that. And they went through the money too quickly. They meant well, but they went through the money too quickly. But this is an opportunity for whoever has the next channel like that to learn from the mistakes that were made. When you look at the Montgomery bus boycott, which was a success when you study the history in general. The Montgomery bus boycott started as a one-day boycott, Monday morning, December 5th, 1955, after Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the Cleveland Avenue bus in Montgomery, Alabama, December 1st, 1955. They wanted to break the back of segregation in Montgomery, Alabama, which is the capital of Alabama. Segregation was written into the Alabama State Constitution in 1901. Now, they had a Reconstruction Constitution in 1867 in Alabama, but that was rescinded. That was revoked. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted for 381 days. It put an economic hurting on Montgomery, Alabama, and the Montgomery Bus Line Inc., the Montgomery Bus Company. What ended segregation on the buses was the lawsuit of Browder versus Gale filed February 1st, 1956 by attorney Fred Gray. And this lawsuit goes all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And after appeals, the decision comes down from the U.S. Supreme Court that segregation on the buses in Montgomery is unconstitutional. Now, the template for the Montgomery bus boycott was the Baton Rouge, Louisiana bus boycott of 1953, led by the Reverend T.J. Jemison. This boycott lasted 8 days. It didn't end segregation on the buses in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but it cost the bus company $1,600 a day in losses. But Dr. King and E.D. Nixon and others, leaders of the Montgomery bus boycott, they called Reverend T.J. Jemison to get advice on how to structure and maneuver their economic boycott. And they got the idea from for the 300-car dispatch system that they used in Montgomery, Alabama. They get this from E.D. Nixon. So what some people may have looked at as a failure was the template for a success that came 2-3 years later, but a lot of times people couldn't see it. So hopefully the mistakes that the Black News Channel made will be a template for something else to come that's a successor that will succeed. They'll learn from those mistakes. Listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stand by. Stand by. Back from break in a few minutes. All right, stand by. Okay, back from break in 4 minutes. Okay, hold on. I have to get ready for this next segment. Stand by. Didn't I send that? Stand by, back from break in 2 minutes. Back from break in 1 minute. Back from break in 1 minute. Welcome back to the African History Network, right here on 910 AM, the Superstation, the Future Radio. All right, Taylor, cue that clip up at the 8-second mark, the one I just sent you from the Black News Channel. We'll go into that in just a minute here. Okay, we're going to switch gears here. So we talked about the Black News Channel for the majority of the show and them shutting down. Now, also a big story from this week, and you know we're on Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time, right here on 910 AM Superstation WFDF, and then on Sundays 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been talking about each day covering the confirmation hearings of Ketanji Brown Jackson. Okay, on the Black News Channel, Yadita Wode's show. She talked about day number 3, okay, of the confirmation hearings. And she had my girl, Monique Presley on, attorney Monique Presley. Let's go to this clip, Taylor.
Black News Channel. Watch us on all major
Cue it up
cable
at the
providers
8-second
and
mark.
major streaming
Start it up
platforms.
at the 8-second mark.
Finally, news that speaks to us.
Good evening. This is Making the Case. I'm getting to Welder. For a third straight day, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson appeared for a marathon day of confirmation hearings on Capitol Hill. Judge Jackson is all but certain to be confirmed as our nation's first Black woman Supreme Court justice. But to get to the High Court, she has to go through the Senate Judiciary Committee. There were heated exchanges, which at times got personal, as Republican senators questioned Judge Jackson's sentencing record, patriotism, and even her faith.
Okay, if I can change my gender, if I can be a woman, and then an hour later, if I decide I'm not a woman anymore, I guess I would lose Article 3 standing. Tell me, does that same principle apply to other protected characteristics? For example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypotheticals, and
I'm asking you how you would assess standing if I came in and said I have decided I identify as an Asian man.
I would assess standing the way I assess other legal issues, which is to listen to the arguments made by the parties, consider the relevant precedents, and the constitutional principles involved, and make a determination.
So you are suggesting that in some individual case, the right to abortion could extend through the entire pregnancy up until the time the child is delivered?
No, Senator, I'm suggesting that I'm not aware of any case that's handled the issue.
You were here for Kavanaugh. If she's confused about what happened, some people on the other side had an accusation against Judge Kavanaugh that during high school, he sexually assaulted somebody. And the rest is history. That was known to the people on the other side and never revealed during the meetings they had with Judge Kavanaugh. It was literally ambushed. He was ambushed. How would you feel if we did that to you?
Senator, she's had nothing to do with the cause.
No, but I'm asking her about how she may feel about what y'all did.
With me for the hour to talk about the highlights are my panel of legal experts. Monique Presley, a trial attorney and crisis manager, C.K. Hoffler, CEO of the C.K. Hoffler firm and immediate past president of the National Bar Association, and A. Scott Bolden, a legal and political analyst and managing partner at Reed Smith. So listen, we watched Judge Jackson endure 2 full days of questioning from members of the Senate. And it's been both joyous and stressful to watch, for me at least. Here you have the first Black woman who's about to ascend to the highest court in the land. And I'm filled with pride and joy, right? But I also felt angry watching her, with all of her brilliance, have to sit there in front of underqualified men throwing misleading and misinformed attacks her way while remaining respectful and poised through it all. Monique, your takeaway from these hearings thus far?
She will rise. I'm certain of it. I'm excited about it. It is a joyful occasion for me, and I agree fully with everything that Senator Booker used his last section of time to say today. I was thankful for that cleansing, for that refreshing, for that shower, for that shift of the atmosphere. I wept as he spoke. I wept along with my sister judge, soon to be justice, because that is really what this is about. And everyone else has been doing exactly what can be expected from everyone else. And whatever. It doesn't matter. I tweeted over and over again, poor Ted. I hate that he's from Texas. I feel so poorly represented by poor Ted. But at the end of the day, he'll be saying Justice Jackson. And so I am proud of her. She was ready for this. She is ready for this. And she will rise.
TK.
Well, every single experience, every part of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's background has led to this experience over the past 3 days. She's been prepared because she was born a Black child, a Black female child. She became a Black teenage girl, a young Black woman, and she's been a Black woman professional lawyer for the past decades, several decades. So all of her experience, all of her background, all of her hard work, all of her dedication, all of her tenacity, all of her blood, sweat, and tears, which we know there has been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, have led to this moment in her life. She was prepared. She was brilliant. She fought back when she needed to fight back. When they tried to take her off her game, she came back into her lane. She followed the rule of the law. She followed the Constitution. She let them know exactly what type of justice of the U.S. Supreme Court she's going to be. And she did it with a great deal of pride, a great deal of class and grace, much more than, quite frankly, the senators who consistently attacked her with misinformation, disinformation, and in some instances, flat out lies at these hearings. It was really disgraceful, but it reeked of desperation, because when you have someone who is so eminently qualified as Judge, soon to be Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, you've got to just pull for straws.
All right. Speaking of pulling, we got to pull the cord on this show. We're out of time here. You can support the African History Network. We're celebrating our 12th year anniversary of me broadcasting the African History Network show. $ TheAHNShow through Cash App and PayPal, paypal.me/TheAHNShow. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We have the information right on the homepage of our website. I first started broadcasting the African History Network show on March 10th, 2010. It's been 12 years. It's been a fantastic journey. We couldn't do this without you. Also, you can register for the online courses I teach on Saturdays and Sundays, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa. understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school, and from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. And my new class, Great African Women in History, the Mothers of Civilization. Remember, right now is correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you next time. Peace. Okay, stand by. Those watching on Facebook and YouTube, stand by. We're only on 9:10 for 2 hours. Okay, how's everybody doing? We'll be rebroadcasting the shows I did this past week, the coverage that we did, analysis dealing with the confirmation hearings. We're going to be rebroadcasting those all week. To post information here. Now we're on Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. midnight. So call in there. Sundays we have a jam-packed show. I'm on for 2 hours Sundays, but we have a jam-packed show. So sorry we couldn't get to the callers, but you can call back tomorrow night. All right. Here's the information for Cash App. If you like this type of information, if you learn from the African History Network show, you know we don't deal with a whole lot of gossip and a bunch of simple Simon ass nonsense. We don't do that here. You can support us. This helps us keep doing the broadcast, stay on the air, keep doing the research, etc. $, the AHN show through Cash App and through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show. Okay, and then we also have the information dealing with the online courses that I teach also. Okay, and you can use this information with your children as well. I would say the information is PG-13. And as soon as you register, you can watch the classes we did this weekend also. Okay, so we have the information here. We'll post this here for the online classes also. All right, we have to get out of here. Remember, the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct wrong behavior. If you want me to do a presentation for your group or organization, email me at ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com, ahnshow@africanhistorynetwork.com, or theahnshow@gmail.com, theahnshow@gmail.com, if you want me to do a presentation for your group or organization. Remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you next time. Peace.